Do you want to build a snowman?
No.
What about an igloo?
Yeah.
Okay, but we don't have enough snow.
They always have snow in Canada.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Since there's not a lot of room in the van, I want to minimize the dimensions of the box, but bring home enough snow to make the igloo. Now, in order to do that, I want to build an igloo that has 1.5 meter thick walls. And inside those 1.5 meter walls, I want enough space for me to lie down. So we'll use 2 meters because that's an easy dimension. So we have 2 meters, and then if we have, that means that the height of the entire igloo will be 1.5 meters. The height of the space inside will be 1 meter. So first of all, what we'll do is we'll calculate the volume of the whole igloo. And to do that, we take the volume of a sphere, which is 4/3 pi r cubed, and we'll multiply that by 1/2 because we're only using half of a sphere. And then we'll plug in the height, which is 1.5 meters, and we have 2/3 pi times 1.5 cubed. So we end up with 2/3 pi times 3.375. And then 2/3 pi turns into 2.04094 times 3.375. And when you multiply those two together, you get 7.067. And that's the volume for the whole igloo, including snow and air. Now we want to calculate the volume of the air inside so that we just have the volume of the snow. So to do that, we subtract 0.5 from 1 to get just the air, and then we use that for our radius this time. So we have the same formula, except we're going to plug in 1 instead of 1.5, and so then we end up with just 2/3 pi, which is just 2.094, and then we take the volume of the whole igloo, we subtract the volume of the air in order to get the volume of the snow. And so we have 7.067 minus 2.094, and we end up with 4.973. Now that's the volume of the snow. Now we need to minimize the dimensions of a box with a square base in order to find the dimensions of the box we need to transport all the snow home. So we take our volume formula, which, because we have a square base, is x squared times y. We then plug in our volume here for the volume, and we get 4.973 equals x squared over y, or x squared times y. We then trying to solve for y, so we divide this side by x, and we have 4.973 over x squared. We'll take that formula, and we're trying to get, and then we'll plug that into our surface area formula, which is x squared plus 4xy, because we have a square base, and then each side is x times y, and then we plug that in, and we have x squared plus 4x times 4.973 over x squared, and we then can cross out an x, or we can divide out an x from this equation, cancel out an x, and we get x squared plus 1.9892 over x, and then we can take the derivative of that. So then we get the derivative of the surface area equals 2x minus 19.892 over x squared. We then set the surface area equal to 0, and then we just solve for x. So we first of all subtract over the 2x, and we then once we do that, then we multiply by x squared to get rid of the x squared on the bottom here, and just get all the x squareds on one side. And so then we end up with negative 2x cubed equals negative 19.892. We then take the cubed root, then we divide by negative 2, and we get 9.946. We take the cubed root of that, and that's x equals 2.151. We then take x, and we plug that back in up here for our x here. So we'll have 2.151 squared, which is 4.627, and then our original volume is being divided by that. So we have y equals 4.973 over 4.627, and that equals 1.075. So then that's our y, and we can now calculate that. We now know the dimensions of our box, which are 2.151 by 2.151 by 1.075. And those are the dimensions of the box we need to transport enough snow to build our igloo.
I have my box and my passport, and I'm going to Canada to get my snow.
Oh, Canada.
5 by 2.15 by 1.075 meter box here, and look at all the snow I have. Now I need to just fill it with snow, and then I need to take it back to the U.S. My igloo is complete. It is 3 meters wide by 1 meters high, and that means there's 2 meters space inside, which is enough space for me to lie down in. I'm gonna go lie down now.